Hello students. Today I am going to discuss about radioactive pollution. Basically it means sudden emission of charged particles and radiation by the decaying of atomic nuclei is called as radioactivity, and the elements that are released, they are called as radioactive elements. Radioactivity of atmosphere is increased by atomic power stations and atomic tests. Initially, this nuclear energy was considered to be a non-polluting way for generating electricity, but later they realized it's not friendly, and they also noticed two serious problems with this particular nuclear energy. The first problem is problem of accidental leakage, because it is not that easy to handle the nuclear energy. So always there are chances for accidental leakage, and actually it is truly happened also. That's why in the bracket I gave example also. It happened in 3 Mile Island and also Chernobyl incidents. So in these two incidents, this nuclear energy, it is actually leaked and caused hazardous effect also, and problem of storage and safe disposal of radioactive wastage. So these are the two practical difficulties they found. And radiation that is given off by nuclear waste is extremely damaging to the biological organisms, because they cause mutations. For example, if these radiations at high doses, they are lethal. What is the meaning of lethal? It causes even death. Whereas in low doses, they causes some disorders like cancers. So if it is produced in extreme case also, or even low doses also, either of the ways are extremely damaging to the organisms. Where the for the storage of the nuclear waste, after sufficient pre-treatment should be done in a suitably shielded container buried into the rocks, about 500-meter deep below the earth's surface. But actually this public, it is opposing this, basically because everyone has a fear. Obviously nuclear wastes, everyone डरता है, क्योंकि they are very reactive. Once we are exposed to that particular radiations, they are lethal. It may causes any mutations, or it may causes even death also. That's why public, obviously it's natural that they get scared out of this particular nuclear wastes. So they are opposing this particular burying of this particular nuclear waste. Sorry for this. Hope you understood. Now let us take a look on what are the sources of radioactive pollution, basically from where they are produced. So sources of radioactive materials. So there are four sources. The first one is natural sources, whereas second one is man-made, that means anthropogenic radiation, whereas next one is radioactive radiation, and some other sources. Now we will go for details very clearly. Now let us take the first one, that is natural sources. They are cosmic rays and radiation from the earth, such as radium 224 and uranium 235 and 238 and thorium 232 and radon triple 222, potassium 40 and carbon 14. Whereas these are naturally produced. Whereas man-made radiations released during mining and purification of thorium and plutonium, and in producing nuclear weapons also. These days what you call wars are happening now, further they are making their own weapons, and while they are making weapons also, these particular radioactive materials are getting generated. Whereas radioactive radiation, nuclear reactors, I already mentioned just in the previous what I call slide, 5 minutes back, I think say, I can say, in that we will produce electricity. So nuclear reactors and also nuclear fuel causes pollution by radioactive radiation. Some other sources like radioactive isotopes used in researches causes radioactive pollutions. For example, X-rays are also proved to have harmful effects, whereas in in month of April 2010, just 10 years back, 6% of Delhi affected by what I call radioactive pollution by cobalt 60. So these are the various sources of radioactive materials. Whereas students, you have to remember one important point, that you need not to remember all these examples. I wanted to tell you what are the sources. To be frank, a genuine fact I'm telling you, till now these sources ko upar never questions are asked. Now, of course there are some, for example carbon 14 and also this plutonium, thorium, and x-rays, these were asked. But I'm what my intention to tell you is, you need not to mug up all these particular names. Okay, now the harmful radiations. The harmful radiation includes non-ionizing components and also ionizing components. Now let us take the first one, that is non-ionizing components. So non-ionizing components such as UV radiations, these radiations causes harms to DNA and RNA and also proteins. Higher concentration of UV radiation can even cause xeroderma pigmentosum disease also. Whereas ionizing components, these ionizing components includes X-rays, alpha particles and beta particles, etc. are high energy radiations which cause physical weakness, heredity changes, mutations, tumors, cancer and sudden death of the human beings. Whereas iodine 131 and strontium 90 are used or released by nuclear explosion. Whereas this, let us take the first one, that is iodine 131 causes harm to bone marrow, WBC, that means white blood cells, lymph nodes, spleen, skin cancer, sterility and less eyesight. So these are the various problems that we are going to get it by iodine 131. Whereas strontium 90 leads to bone cancer and degradation of tissues. Okay, so these are some bad effects by ionizing components. Now, how to control this particular radioactivity? So radioactivity, first thing, the basic thing kya karna hai na, the war between the nations, that this competition, see, to of course obviously they wanted to secure their country, but in the name of that particular safety, one should not opt for hazardous weapons like nuclear weapons. Actually, even your kids, but still, at least you must have heard, it was first happened in Hiroshima and baad mein Nagasaki mein also it happened, and it caused so many genetic disorders. So it is better to stop, at least I can't say because I don't know much about this, so I can't be able to comment, at least to reduce this particular production of this nuclear weapons. So it is always better to have some peace. Okay, what is throwing words and also hurting others, it is not at all good, it's not a good practice. Okay, now let us take the next one, and of course the last one. Today's lecture, basically I'm not left with anything. Actually, I completed air pollution, noise pollution and also water pollution, and today it is a conclusive class. I'll finish maximum in 20 minutes more. Okay, whereas the last topic of our environmental issue is solid wastes. Solid wastes are municipal or garbage wastes are wastes from homes and also offices, stores, schools, hospitals, paper, food waste, plastics, glasses, metal, rubber, leather and textiles. So these are various solid wastes. Whereas there are various ways to reduce this wastes. What are they? The first one is burning these wastes. So burning wastes, these residues, I mean solid wastes, in a great volume. So although it is generally not burned to completion, and open dumps often serves as the what do you call breeding grounds for rats and also fleas. That means we are, by burning them, we are losing our natural organisms of ecosystem. So it's not that suggestible. Whereas sanitary landfills, so sanitary landfills are adopted as a substitute for this particular open burning terms. Very you use just a common what do you call understanding. Burning, by while you are burning, but any like what do you call particle of this fire, if it fall on any other house, it is obviously hazardous na, obviously it causes a lot of problems, or it even kills what do you call our natural existing organisms in the earth, in the soil. So it's not that suggested to burning the wastes. That's why they opted for this sanitary landfills. But this is sanitary landfills also, they faced this some problems. Why in metro cities are also not what do you call solution, since garbage is increased so much in metro cities. What happens, the population is more, that's why how much they can bury. So how they need to dig and they need to bury, they need lots of place. अरे जीने के लिए जगह नहीं है, मतलब burying solid waste, is it practical? Whereas there is a dangerous in especially these particular wastes, sometimes they consisting of chemicals and they pollute the underground water. So there are certain problems by burning also, and also sanitary landfills. So both are not much suggestive, up to some limit, as they are what I call the waste to reduce the wastes. But basically these two cannot be able to solve these particular solid wastes. Then what is the actual solution for this? Using common sense. ह्यूमन बींग्स नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, अरे इतना में वेस्ट, इतना कचरा में बाहर फेंक रहे हैं, इज इट करेक्ट और नॉट? यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड by using your common and what I call common sense and basic ideas, you can be able to reduce this particular solid wastes. See, mostly these days the families are reduced. Maximum a घर पे maximum what I call mother, father and one or two kids. These days more than that, even parents also can't be able to afford. So कितना waste मिलेगा, and that waste properly if you dispose, obviously that will be good. Minimize the waste na. So if you minimize the waste, that will be the better solution to reduce this particular solid wastes. Now, let us take types of wastes and their disposal. So these wastes can be categorized into three groups. What are they? Biodegradable, like food and also kitchen wastes. Whereas these biodegradable wastes, because they can be able to degrade it, they can be able to decompose by various microbes, that's why they don't create much problem. So you can happily dump into the pits, so that these decomposers, they naturally break down this what you call food material and also kitchen wastes, and obviously nutrient cycle also it will go. So we need not to worry about a biodegradable. Whereas recyclable, like paper, of course there is rag pickers are there, these rag pickers, especially roadside and also this railway track sides, they will pick and obviously they will give to those companies, and they will recycle and again produce a paper. Whereas problem it is coming with non-biodegradable, like plastic and also this polythene bags, they are causing like hazardous effects. Basically these days uses of poly bags and plastic, it become too much. For example, if you wanted to buy grocery, if you go to some what I call supermarket, then obviously you can find all these particular stuffs like tur dal, rice, whatever, gehu, whatever you want, all they are available in the plastic bags only. Even milk, every day this vendor he will come and give you the milk. Now that milk, it is coming in the plastic bags. Water packets, water bottles, they are what you call packed by this plastic. Fruits, they are packed, they will be wrapped by this particular what you call plastic bags. And vegetables, groceries, what not, I can say plastic, it became a part and parcel of our life. Whereas state governments, they need to take a strict act on this. They need to ban this uses of bio non-degradable wastes like plastic. So then what is alternatives are I am going to market? Then how do I bring this what I call vegetables and fruits? By using these jute bags, and also these days paper bags are also available. Of course they may be little costly. Kitna costly? Maximum 2 rupees. Okay, even the polythene bags are also, they are selling it na, no one is going to sell them freely. So thoda expensive रहेगा, but they will be safe. They can be able to what I call either biodegradable or they may be recyclable. So please try to go for the alternatives, and as much as possible try to avoid uses of the plastic, and that is the best way to keep our what I call environment safe. Now, let us take this remedy for plastic waste. It is actually a case study. In this case study, it was done by Ahmed Khan. Actually, this Ahmed Khan, it is 50. He is 57 years old. He is a plastic manufacturer in Bangalore. He is running this particular industry from 20 years. Whereas about 8 years ago, he realized that this plastic, it is causing a lot of disastrous problems. It became slowly it is causing so much of hazardous effects to the mankind, and he started finding some solution for that. And the best solution he found is he made a fine powder of recycled modified plastic. That means a fine powder of plastic which is called as polyblend. This polyblend, along he collaborated with RV College of Engineering and Bangalore City Corporation. That means he collaborated with that, with both of these, and this Ahmed Khan proved that a polyblend along with this bitumen, they both the mixture. That means I already told you what is polyblend. Polyblend is a fine powder of this particular plastic, and bitumen. Sir, what is bitumen? Obviously you will get a doubt. Bitumen is a dense, highly viscous petroleum based hydrocarbon which is found in the deposits such as oil sands and also pitch lakes. So this is from there we will get bitumen. So this bitumen and also polyblend, when you mix, this becomes a suitable substance to lay the roads. So, plastic being hazardous, when we use this hazardous in a useful way, that obviously reduces the hazardous effects of the plastic. So, then I am really sorry. He found a perfect solution for this in the name of polyblend. When it is mixed up with the bitumen, they found roads, and it is practically applied. Students, this is not like a theory I am telling. It is practically applied using this Ahmed Khan technique. By the year 2002, more than 40 kilometers of road in Bangalore was already been laid. So that means he practically implemented it. Now, by using these alternatives, we can be able to reduce the hazardous effects of this what you call plastic and also this polythene. Okay. Now, electric waste is, that means e-waste you will call. Na? What is e-waste? E-waste basically means what you call, irreparable computers and computer parts and mobiles and also these electronic goods. So these all comes under the e-waste only. And e-waste are buried in landfills or incinerators. What is the meaning of incinerators? Incinerators are the apparatus for burning the waste material. It's a kind of special apparatus in which what you will burn this particular e-waste and also hospital waste. Actually, to burn this hospital waste also, we use incinerators only. And now, over half of e-wastes of a developed world, e-wastes of a developed world are exported to developing countries, mainly to China, India, Pakistan, where metals like copper, iron, silicon, nickel, and gold are recovered during recycling process. In these centuries, the people participate in recycling of e-wastes and exposed to toxic substances present in e-waste. And the eco-friendly recycling is only treatment for the e-waste, and there is no any other alternative for this. Now, the last topic, with this I am completing this chapter, that is hospital waste. Hospital waste means I need not to tell you, hospital cotton, syringes, and all these particular expired medicines. This all comes under hospital waste, and these hospital waste, they are consisting of this pathogenic microorganisms. So we need to while we are disposing them, you need to take a special attention and care. How? By using some incinerators. Incinerators means just 1 or 2 minutes back only I told, it is an apparatus for burning the waste material. So by using this, you burn these particular syringes and also this cotton especially, and expired chemicals. That means medicines. I'm talking about medicines and also then they don't harm to others. So this is all about the e-wastes and also hospital wastes. Hope you understood today's class is a very small class actually. And it's not only small class, and it is also a very easy class. Hope you must have understood, but still if you have any doubts you can ask me anytime, and you are asking also, I'm answering also. And with this we completed this what do you call environmental issues. And in the next class I'll come up with a new chapter. I'm sorry, not only new chapter, with a new unit. With this, I completed the 10th unit. Unit number 10 is completely done. Thank you so much.